Your bank account in 2026 is about to expose you. Everyone around you is spending money on things that make them look rich while secretly going broke. They're buying the latest iPhone on payment plans and financing cars they can't afford. They somehow convince themselves that a $200 pair of sneakers is an investment. You're probably sitting there wondering if you should be doing something different, or if you're destined to join the 78% of people who live paycheck to paycheck. The 7 purchases you make in 2026 will determine whether you're building wealth 5 years from now or still broke and complaining about inflation. Most people get this backwards. They think 2026 is just another year to spend money on stuff that depreciates while the economy crashes around them. That's like trying to build a house during a hurricane and wondering why everything keeps falling apart. My name is Mike, and I've spent the last decade figuring out why some people escape financial mediocrity, while others stay trapped in it their entire lives. If you're tired of watching your money disappear every month while everyone else seems to be getting ahead, smash that subscribe button and drop a like. Today, we're breaking down the 7 purchases that will separate the winners from the losers in 2026. Before we get into these 7 purchases, let me be clear about something. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. What I'm about to share with you are the exact purchases that consistently show up in the lives of people who achieve financial freedom while they're still young enough to actually enjoy it. These aren't theories or empty promises. These are real strategies that work in 2026's economy. Most people approach 2026 completely backwards. They see inflation and uncertainty, which makes them think this is the time to hold on to their money and play it safe. The people who understand how wealth actually works know that 2026 is when small strategic purchases create massive results down the road. $1,000 invested correctly right now becomes tens of thousands in 5 years. $1,000 spent on depreciating garbage becomes nothing but regret and maybe some credit card debt. Purchase number 1 might surprise you. It's not what the typical finance gurus tell you. Invest in a money-making skill, not a side hustle, a skill. This matters more in 2026 than ever before. AI is about to replace half the jobs out there. If you don't have a skill that makes you money independently, you're going to be competing with robots and people in other countries who'll do your job for 10% of your salary. I'm talking about copywriting, video editing, sales, coding, or any high-income skill that businesses actually need right now. The beautiful thing about investing in a skill in 2026 is that you don't need a college degree that costs $100,000 in 4 years of your life. You can learn these skills in 3 to 6 months through online courses, YouTube, and actually doing the work. Whether it's spending $500 on a comprehensive course or investing in the tools you need to practice, this purchase has the potential to add an extra $3,000 to $10,000 per month to your income within a year. Most people try to learn 17 different skills at once instead of mastering one thing that actually pays. If you're naturally good with words, learn copywriting. If you understand how attention works, learn video editing or content creation. If you can sell ice to an Eskimo, develop that skill and become a closer. The point isn't to chase whatever seems trendy on TikTok. The point is to find one skill that matches your natural strengths and invest. Whatever it takes to get so good they can't ignore you. The second purchase that will change your life in 2026 is putting money into index funds, specifically through a Roth IRA or tax-advantaged account. Before you think this is boring, let me show you some math. If you invest just $300 per month into an S&P 500 index fund in 2026, and that investment grows at the historical average of about 10% annually, you'll have over $150,000 in just 10 years. That's $300 a month turning into life-changing money. If you wait until 2027 or 2028 to start, you're literally leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. Every single month you delay costs, you compound interest that you'll never get back. This is why 2026 matters so much. We're potentially at the beginning of a massive bull run. People who invest now will look like geniuses in 5 years while everyone else is still making excuses. The beauty of index funds in 2026 is that they're the cheat code of investing. They don't require you to pick individual stocks. They don't need you to time the market perfectly. They historically outperform 90% of actively managed funds. If you do this through a Roth IRA, every dollar of growth stays in your pocket instead of going to taxes. It's like having a money printer that runs quietly in the background while you focus on making more income. The key is to automate these contributions so the money gets invested before you even see it. If you never see it in your checking account, you won't spend it on dumb stuff, set it and forget it. Then check back in 2031 and thank me when you're sitting on a six-figure portfolio. Purchase number 3 might seem controversial, but it's one of the smartest investments you can make in 2026. Buy a plane ticket and travel strategically. This isn't about blowing your savings on expensive vacations to flex on Instagram. This is about investing in experiences and connections that expand your network and open doors you didn't even know existed. Traveling in 2026 builds perspective in ways that nothing else can. When you visit countries where people are building businesses with limited resources, you develop a worldview that makes you more valuable and more adaptable. When you meet entrepreneurs in different markets and see how money works in different economies, you also meet people who might become business partners, mentors, or connections that lead to opportunities you never would have found sitting in your hometown. The smart way to do this is by maximizing credit card points and travel hacking. Get a travel rewards credit card and use it for your normal expenses that you'd spend anyway. Pay it off in full every single month, never carry a balance. Collect those points and use them for free or heavily discounted travel. This strategy also builds your credit score, which becomes incredibly valuable when you're ready to buy real estate or start a business that needs funding. Travel to places where your dollar goes further. $2,000 in Bali or Mexico gets you a month of experiences, connections, and perspective that would cost $10,000 in New York or LA. You're not just buying a vacation. You're buying market research, networking opportunities, and a mindset shift that could be worth millions down the road. The fourth life-changing purchase in 2026 is education, but not the kind that puts you in debt for 20 years. I'm talking about books, high-quality online courses, masterminds, and any learning that increases your skills and value in the marketplace. This is one of the most powerful investments you can make because the knowledge you gain compounds forever. A $30 book can completely change your mindset about money and success. A $500 course from someone who's actually built what you want to build can teach you skills that increase your income by $50,000 this year. The key word there is actually built. Avoid those $2,000 courses from fake gurus posing next to rented Lamborghinis and private jets. Focus on learning from people who have real track records and actual results. In 2026, your brain's ability to learn new skills and adapt is still at its peak. Take advantage of that, whether it's learning AI tools that'll make you 10 times more productive, understanding how to build online businesses, developing advanced sales skills, or mastering a high-income trade. Every skill you acquire becomes part of your arsenal for life. The people who invest in education now will be the ones running circles around everyone else in 3 years, while everyone else is still making excuses about not having opportunities. Purchase number 5 is the big one that most people are too scared to make in 2026. But it can absolutely transform your financial future. Buy income-generating assets, specifically real estate or digital assets that produce cash flow. I know you might be thinking you can barely afford rent, let alone buying property. There are creative ways to make this work, even if you're not sitting on piles of cash. Real estate in 2026 is interesting because interest rates have started coming down from their peaks, and there are deals everywhere if you know where to look. You don't need to buy a $500,000 house. You could buy a small rental property in a growing market. Invest in a real estate syndication with other investors. Or even buy a parking spot in a major city and rent it out. The goal is to own something that puts money in your pocket every single month. If real estate seems too complicated or capital intensive, consider digital assets. Buy a profitable website or online business. Invest in dividend-paying stocks. Purchase equipment that you can rent out. The key is to shift from being a consumer who only spends money to being an owner who makes money while you sleep. This is how wealthy people think, and it's the exact opposite of how broke people operate. The wealth-building potential is enormous because you're using leverage and other people's money to build equity. If you buy a $150,000 rental property with $30,000 down and rent it out, your tenants are literally paying your mortgage while you benefit from appreciation and tax advantages. In 10 years, that property could be worth $250,000 and you only put in $30,000. That's how you actually get rich. The sixth purchase might sound boring, but it's actually one of the most important decisions you'll make in 2026. Buy reliable transportation, not a status symbol. Notice I didn't say buy a new car or finance a truck. I said buy transportation. Understanding this difference could save you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Most people think they need a nice car to look successful. They finance $40,000 vehicles they can't afford and make $600 monthly payments for 6 or 7 years. That same $600 per month invested at 10%. Returns would be worth over $500,000 in 30 years. Your car payment is stealing your retirement. Cars in 2026 are depreciating liabilities that cost you money every single month. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. It's like setting $10,000 on fire, except you still have to make payments. Insurance goes up, maintenance costs more, and you're locked into a monthly expense that prevents you from investing in actual wealth-building assets. Buy a 3 to 5-year-old Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, or Mazda 3 for $12,000 to $18,000. Pay cash if possible, or finance it for the shortest term you can manage. These cars will run for 200,000 miles if you maintain them, and they're cheap to insure and repair. The money you save by not having a car payment can be invested in index funds, real estate, or your business. When you're not stressed about making car payments, you have more freedom to take calculated risks. You can quit a job you hate, start that business you've been thinking about, or invest aggressively when opportunities show up. Financial freedom starts with eliminating unnecessary. Monthly payments and car payments are usually the biggest unnecessary expense keeping people broke. The seventh and final purchase that can change your life in 2026 is investing in your health and energy. This one gets overlooked constantly because the benefits aren't immediately obvious, but your health determines everything else. How hard you can work, how long you can pursue your goals, how much energy you have for your business, and whether you'll actually be around to enjoy the wealth you're building. I'm not talking about spending thousands on fancy gym memberships or hiring expensive personal trainers, although those might be worth it if you'll actually use them. I'm talking about the basics that most people completely ignore. Good quality food instead of living off energy drinks and fast food, consistent sleep instead of running on 4 hours a night, some form of exercise that gets your blood pumping and your mind clear. 2026 is when you establish the habits that will either support your goals or destroy them for the next several decades. If you're constantly exhausted, stressed out, or dealing with preventable health problems, it doesn't matter how smart your investment strategy is, you won't have the energy or mental clarity to execute it properly. The hidden cost of poor health isn't just medical bills, although those definitely add up in America's broken healthcare system. It's the opportunity cost of not being able to work at full capacity, not being able to take advantage of opportunities when they arise, potentially spending your later years dealing with diabetes, heart problems, or other issues instead of enjoying your wealth. Building wealth requires sustained effort over many years. Whether it's managing a business, staying disciplined with your investments, or dealing with the challenges of scaling your income, you need physical and mental energy to make it all work. If you're running on fumes because you've been treating your body like a trash can, you're sabotaging your own success before you even start. Think of health investments as performance enhancers for everything else you're trying to accomplish. Better sleep means better decisions. Better nutrition means consistent energy throughout the day. Regular exercise means better stress management and mental clarity. These aren't luxuries. They're fundamental requirements for building the kind of life you actually want. All 7 of these purchases in 2026 are about playing the long game. Instead of optimizing for short-term dopamine hits, every single one requires you to think differently than most people. While everyone else is focused on looking successful right now, you're focused on actually becoming successful over time. The compound effect applies to more than just money. Every good decision you make in 2026 compounds into better outcomes later. Every skill you develop makes you more valuable. Every dollar you invest grows exponentially over decades. Every relationship you build through strategic travel can open doors years down the road. Every month you avoid car payments frees up capital for wealth-building activities. Every hour you invest in your health gives you more years to enjoy your success. Bad financial decisions compound negatively. Credit card debt compounds against you at 24% interest. Car payments prevent you from investing in appreciating assets. Neglecting your health creates problems that get exponentially more expensive to fix over time. This is why 2026 matters so much. You're not just making decisions about this year. You're making decisions about the trajectory of your entire financial future. Most people think these 7 purchases are separate decisions when they're actually all connected. Your skill development success depends on your health and energy levels. Your ability to invest in index funds depends on not having massive car payments eating your income. Your travel experiences can lead to business connections that accelerate your income. Your real estate investments can provide passive income that gives you freedom to take bigger risks. This interconnected approach is what separates people who build serious wealth from those who just stumble from paycheck to paycheck without any strategy. When you understand how these purchases work together, you start making decisions that reinforce each other instead of competing for your limited resources. Most people completely mess this up by trying to do everything at once. They want to learn 5 different skills, max out their investments, travel to 10 countries, buy property, and transform their health all in the same month. Then they get overwhelmed, give up on everything, and go back to buying stuff that makes them feel successful for about 5 minutes. The smart approach is to prioritize based on your current situation and build momentum gradually. If you're broke and have no valuable skills, start with purchase number 1 and develop a money-making skill first. If you're earning decent money but spending all of it, start automating your index fund investments and fix your transportation situation. If you're financially stable but stuck, invest in education and strategic travel to expand your network and opportunities. Making smart purchases in 2026 requires you to be comfortable being different from everyone around you. While your friends are financing new cars and spending everything on bottle service and designer clothes, you're buying boring index funds and driving a paid-off Toyota. While they're posting vacation photos and complaining about being broke, you're quietly building a foundation that will support you for decades. Can you handle people thinking you're cheap or boring? Can you resist the urge to upgrade your lifestyle every time you get a raise? Can you stick with your plan when everyone around you is panicking about the economy? These aren't just financial decisions, they're character-building exercises that determine what kind of person you become. Your 2026 is going to pass by whether you make smart financial decisions or not. The only question is whether you'll look back in 2031 wondering where all your money went, or you'll be sitting on a foundation that gives you actual choices about how to spend your life. These 7 purchases aren't just about building wealth. They're about building the kind of person who understands that real success isn't about impressing strangers with stuff you can't afford. It's about having the freedom to wake up every morning and decide what you want to do with your day instead of what you have to do to survive. Start with one of these purchases today because 5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or wish you had. Drop a comment and let me know which one you're starting with. If you got value from this, subscribe to Mike Capital because we're just getting started.